Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Sorry. Yeah, today I'll talk about the role of positive virtues in depolarizing adolescence, and I'm going to draw insight from a study I and my colleagues are conducting with adolescents in Kenya, Cameroon, and Ethiopia. But for this 10-minute segment, I'm going to focus mostly on Kenya. Now, in Kenya, our study is with the pastoralist Turkana ethnic community of northern Kenya. They are pastoralists, so they totally depend on a livelihood on raising livestock. So everything about them revolves around livestock. And majorly, that's the major source of livelihood. There are many non-governmental organizations now that are coming to try and diversify their livelihood, but generally that is what they draw their livelihood, how they draw their livelihood, they make a living. Now, this community suffers a lot of livestock raids from neighboring South Sudanese Toposa community. And since the young people in these two communities are the ones who raise the livestock, they're the ones who take care of them, and they're the ones sometimes who really need to replenish the stocks when, for example, climate change kills all the livestock because of drought or floods, or when they need to marry. This is livestock needed for ceremonies, like marriage ceremonies and so on. So these young people, they get involved in these raids, and there's a lot of fatalities when the young people of one community is defending their livestock against the raiders or the thefts, or being sent to steal the livestock. So this has generated so much polarizing narratives that has gone even beyond the livestock raids themselves. So the communities are so polarized, the young people are so polarized, and they see the others as enemies and not even as human beings. So in the project we are looking at forgiveness and reconciliation rituals. Now, these are rituals that are conducted within the Turkana community, not between the two communities, but within the community when there was a need, like, for example, there was an accidental death or some fighting among community members. So these rituals were they sustained peace, which means they're very, very important for the community to get peace, as opposed to actually using the judicial system. Because even right now, if you use the judicial system, the chances of sustainable peace is quite it's not as good as when these forgiveness and reconciliation rituals are used. So, what am I suggesting today? We are suggesting that these rituals, which the community used to regain their wholeness, can be used to help sustainably depolarize adolescents in this community. For the Turkana, they looked at peace as community wholeness. And another thing, they looked at adolescents as apprentices to this community wholeness. So this community wholeness came through ancestral wisdom. It was maintained by ancestral wisdom that was carried on, that piggybacked on rituals. So they looked at tradition as a moral compass, and the roots of this, the traditions was the roots of virtues, and they used the apprentice model to work with young people as they grew to be adults in the community. So rituals were classrooms. So through rituals, these young people learn things like humility, self-regulation, empathy, among many others. And now this is the thing that brought in, this is how polarization came in. When this moral compass, the traditions were eroded. When the traditions were eroded, then now there was polarization. So what we are suggesting is that it's possible to integrate ritual-based virtue education in curriculum for adolescents going to school or adolescents outside school. We say both school-going and non-school-going adolescents because among the Turkana, this is almost divided in half. There are young people who go to school and there are young people who don't go to school. So any program that is going to make any sustainable solution, that is going to bring any sustainable solution in that community has to address both these groups. And we also believe that if we empowered local trainers to appreciate ritual logic that might not be as objective logic as the others that people are used to, but these are ritual, just, it makes sense in their own way. If they could appreciate ritual logic and use it in their practice, then they would gain much more success in the programs that they have with young people. And definitely this, as the first presenter talked about, would be working with this African philosophy of Ubuntu, where in order to maintain community wholeness, people have to think of I am because others are. I am because you are because I am. I cannot survive on my own and you cannot survive on your own. We have to come together and bring community wholeness. So maybe I'll stop here and take some questions if there are.